Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Michael Chandler, who takes on Will Brooks in a rematch on this Bellator card on November 15th, Tito versus Bonar here in San Diego. Mike, you and Will have been kind of going back and forth on Twitter. Talk to me about that, because usually you don't let those kind of things get to you, and you're usually really quiet and calm.
Yeah, I definitely don't let him get to me, but it's luck of the draw kind of thing. That he's given me so much ammo, and he's literally mentioned me on Twitter so many times where it's like, well, might as well let you know I'm at least here. I'm here for a fight or war of words a little bit. So we've gone back and forth a little bit. Mainly just for me, it's nothing personal. For me, it's all fun. For him, it's personal. It's about respect. It's about this. It's about that. And he can just stay up at night and worry about all that stuff. I'm just going to focus on training and focus on showing up November 15th and doing the real fighting, which is physical.
You feel you kind of gotten in his head then, kind of winning the mental war?
I think he's in his own head. I think he's got a lot of growing up to do. I think he lets things bother him, and he just loves to promote himself and how much he's going to beat me and the things that he's going to do and the things that I'm not going to be able to do and this and that. And for me, we're all men here. We all train, and it's all about showing up on fight night prepared and ready to go. And for me, I'm the best I've ever been. So I'm not going to let a little bit of hatred on Twitter or a little bit of reckless tweets change my life.
Coming into your first matchup, you thought you were going to fight Eddie Alvarez, and then what happened, and then you got Will Brooks. Mentally and just preparing, was that like a worst-case scenario? Was it just a nightmare because you prepped for one style and then, boom, all of a sudden you got a different style, and it's kind of like you're just free-flowing, which for some people it's good, but for others, if you practice a single thing, it's really bad.
Yeah, I train really hard, and I train with some of the best people in the world, best coaches in the world. So I believe putting in a good training camp and a good game plan, I could beat anybody in the lightweight division on earth. And under normal circumstances, I would have been able to take an opponent change in 6 or 7 days and gone out there and finished Will Brooks. And I truly believe that. But last training camp wasn't my best. I wasn't able to perform the way that I needed to. My body wasn't up to par, and it wasn't in the right state to be able to put in the training that I needed to, the sparring rounds that I needed to, and the long hours at the gym that I needed to. And I just needed some time off, and I went out there and went out on my shield. May 17th, I went out there and fought my tail off. Lost a close split decision that a lot of people thought I won. But at the end of the day, you got to go out there and finish fights, and that's what I'm going to do November 15th.
Why wasn't it the best camp? Did something happen, or?
Yeah, just my body wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
I had some
Overtraining,
imbalances, some deficiencies. I was bedridden for like 7 days in the first 2 weeks of training camp. So it was a tough situation. But at the end of the day, we're paid to fight, and it was a Bellator's first pay-per-view, and Bellator's taking great care of me. So I always show up ready to fight. Was I in the best shape of my life? No. Was I in some pain? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you got to show up and perform, and that's what I did. There's a lot of people who pull out of fights when they get a hangnail and stub their toe, and I didn't want to be that guy. Obviously my situation was a lot more drastic than that, but I still was able to walk to the cage, and I always tell myself, if I can walk to the cage and I can bite down on my mouthpiece, I'm going to show up and fight. So it's just the 8 weeks before that you can't do the right preparations and the right things that you always do, and I train harder than anybody else in the entire world, I believe, but when your body won't let you do that, you can't do it. So it was a tough situation, but at the end of the day, what happened, and November 15th is going to be a completely new day.
You have more time now to train. What's been the biggest thing that you've added now that you've had this extra time to prepare for this opponent?
Yeah, it's not even about the opponent. Like I said, given a good training camp and a healthy body, I can go out there and finish anybody in the lightweight division, I believe. But, I switched up my strength and conditioning. My life has completely changed since I fought last fight. I started working out at Fitness Quest 10 with Todd Durkin and Jeff Bristol. These guys train some of the top athletes in the entire world, from the NFL to MLB to hockey to just everybody. And Todd Durkin's education and his view of the body and how it works and how every single muscle and every single ligament, tendon, bone works together is second to none. And he has taken my body from literally very, very imbalanced and not able to move very well to explosive, powerful, and injury-free, pain-free. So I can't thank him enough. And I wake up every morning feeling like I'm 18 years old again, and I feel like I can fight another decade. So I'm excited for what the future holds. But more importantly, more immediately, November 15th is going to be the best performance of my life.
Switching topics really quick. What'd you make of Eddie's fight with Donald?
It was a tough fight. Donald Cerrone is a tough draw for any of us. He's 6 foot, 6'1", whatever he is. He fights with that tall Muay Thai stance. Like myself, Eddie kind of has that shorter boxer stance with the wider stance and throwing punches. So you had a guy who was shorter and fought like a shorter guy, and a taller guy who fights like a taller guy. So it's a tough matchup for anybody, like I said. And Eddie started out well. Almost dropped him in that first round, had him rocked, and then Cowboy kind of took the driver's seat after that. But I believe Eddie's gonna come out and continue to have success, no matter where he's at. So we'll see.
Is that something that's still on your checklist to get a final fight, regardless of where it happens? It's something that you have to do it.
For me, it's all about just fighting. You can't worry too much about who it is, when it is, where it is, because at the end of the day, we're all under contract with promoters and promotions that tell us when and where to fight. So. It's definitely something that I think the fans wanted to see. I think there's a lot of fans out there who have it on their checklist of I hope this happens, dream matchups. But for me, focus.
So you're happy just 1-1, one for him, one for you?
No, you're definitely not. I'm happy that we had 2 wars. I'm happy that you can hop on YouTube and you can look at both of those fights and be entertained for 50 minutes almost, however long it is. So it's an exciting situation, but we'll see what the future holds.
You've been a company man for Bellator since really Bellator started. We saw Eddie leave. If the right, situation came up and Scott gave Eddie the blessing, but if Scott gave you the blessing, would it be something where you would do it and go and jump over?
I don't really think about it much. I'm kind of in training camp, focusing on fighting for Bellator, which is what I'm doing right now. And it was definitely a unique situation that Scott and the higher ups decided to make that decision that they did for Eddie. I think I don't think they'd want to get rid of me. I'm believing that. So you always want to be wanted, and I think they're happy with me. I think they're happy with what I bring to the table. And November 15th, I'm going to continue to solidify that and solidify myself not only in this company but in the top lightweights in the world.
Well, we can't wait, Michael. Thank you very much. Certainly appreciate it. Man right next to me takes on Will Brooks November 15th on Bellator's show here in San Diego.